You're listening to the Convene Connections podcast with your host, Matthew Curry.
And good evening, everybody. How you doing tonight? Hey, Jason, how are you?
I'm good.
Hey, Jason, we're back, right? So
We're back by popular demand.
By popular demand. And we're going to be talking tonight about the Convene Mastermind. And we're going to be talking a lot about this. And this is a group that will be starting on March the 1st. So real quick for those that don't know, you go ahead and introduce yourself real quick, and then I'll introduce myself and I'll talk a little bit about what is Convene Communities.
Sure. My name is Jason Berry. I've got a background in small business. I live in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I am a certified business coach with Action Coach, and I am honored to be the business coach for Convene Communities and work directly with Matt and his team. Married, have a son who's 12, and I'm going to hold on to him for a couple more years before he becomes a teenager. I'm convinced. Right. I'm going to try to figure that out. But yeah, I'm happy to be here, Matt. Thanks for giving me a chance to intro.
Yeah, awesome. And so for those who are watching for the first time, my name is Matt Curran. I'm the creator and founder of Convene Communities. And you might ask, what is Convene Communities? And so we're a online platform, and we like to use the tagline, real life, real people, real experience. So what does that mean? That means that, we all have a story, Jason. And so, for example, you have a story that led you to be a action coach, a business coach. And that is you owned a retail store up in the mountains of North Carolina. And that experience led you to teaching small business owners how to own a business, your experience from doing that. So we all have a story that we like to create. And there's some people watching right now, Lisa Herring, SSDI, and she teaches Social Security and disability benefits, but she has a story that led her to do that. Anthony McCauley, who's watching, he has a story that led him to being an author and leading the hope and support community. So we bring this story to a platform, Convene, and we like to say that it allows you to connect, communicate, collaborate, and educate. And so what that means is that we come together, we want to connect with others, right? We want to connect with people. We want to collaborate with people and work together with other people. And we want to communicate with people. And then we want to educate. So somebody like yourself, you educate people on how to be a better small business. And that's why Convene, that's why we use you as our small business coach. So you can help us in tremendous ways and help us grow and turn into what, hopefully this platform is going to be, how we're, just growing really rapidly, which leads us to the Convene Mastermind. And really excited about talking about this group tonight. Everybody who's watching, ask questions, and we'll get into what the mastermind is going to be. Ask any questions that you can and that you want to. So, Jason, why are we going to do a mastermind? And why? And what are we actually going to be talking about during this mastermind?
That's right. So, this is a platform. Convene Communities is a platform where you can share, like you said, like you just described, you can share your experiences, you can share your story, and really help other people benefit from that. So whether it's from a business perspective or a athletics perspective, there's just so many different groups of people out there that have a common interest, and the community is about building community through storytelling. Yeah. So that was a little bit of a recap, I understand, but it's so important that for everyone to understand that every single person on Convene has a compelling, highly valuable story that we all can benefit from, but we've got to hear it. We've got to hear it. You've got to get it out of here and onto this platform so that it can be shared at scale and make the impact really that it should have. And there you can fumble your way through getting this figured out. And I say fumble, that's actually not fair, but you can do this on your own just by watching videos and learning the platform. But the real magic is going to be in, hey, how can we shortcut the trial and error it's going to take for you to have the impact through your story and get it out there. And whether you're a nonprofit that's on Convene, adding content, engaging your community, engaging your tribe, supporting your community, or a business working to make the impact that you can have through business. And I know like Jeff's got the soccer community. I mean, there's so many different directions it can go. The Convene Mastermind group is all about helping people that are on Convene shortcut the trial and error so that you can get to success and impact in a lot shorter amount of time, because the quicker we can get there, the more impact we can have.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a great, example of what we're going to be doing. So what's the structure going to be? Let me talk about the structure of how Monday nights are going to work. Because I think this is very important as we go through this, right? So it's going to be led by you and me. And we might bring in some other Convene coaches to fill in if I'm not there, or, whatever might be going on. But the structure of it is, you're a business coach, right? I'm not a business coach. I use you for Convene as my business coach to teach me business concepts. And we'll give some examples coming up here in just a couple of minutes. So very important, right? You're a business coach. That's what you do. You help small businesses accelerate to success, get more structured across the board. So you're going to talk about a business concept for the first part of the mastermind.
Right.
I'm going to come in behind you and I'm going to take the same business concept, and then we're going to tie it to how you can use the platform to accelerate that to making money, to having a successful business, because Convene is a resource for your business. And I think that's very important. You're going to be teaching people about business, not just about Convene business, but about their business. I'm just one of them. Now we're going to show you a resource, Convene in this case, that can help you do great things. And then we're going to bring at the end, we'll bring in one of the people that's already inside of Convene as examples sometimes, and let them explain to you how they're being successful. For example, Wendy Zanders, who just checked on, Lisa Herring, Eugene Brown, Anthony McCauley. The list is going to go on and on. But for us, what people need to understand, that's also going to be a way that we can help you market what you're doing and help you succeed even more. So I don't know if you want to expand on that, but that's the general overview of how a Monday night will go. And then we'll talk about the group stuff that'll happen afterwards here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure everybody understands this is a weekly meeting.
Yes.
So every Monday, and right now it's planned for 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday evenings. So every Monday, every week, we're going to get together. It's going to be an hour-long session tops, and it's going to be 100% engagement is required, because it takes everyone in a mastermind group to really create that energy and to create that collaboration and learning, because we're also going to learn from you guys.
Exactly.
I want to learn from Matt while we're on the calls together. And like Matt said, on the Convene platform, all of those sessions are going to be recorded, and you can reference them by accessing the platform and looking through the discussion for each week. And you'll have an opportunity, there'll be homework from week to week based on where you're at with your business, whether it's a focus on, let me get the platform figured out, which is really a Matt topic, or, hey, how do I leverage what I've got into building a business out of it? And that's stuff that I'll be speaking into. There's going to be specific homework that you're going to self-assign, and then we'll work to hold you accountable to that over time too. Accountability is where really the magic comes in any of these things, any of these kind of coaching type relationships, mentor or mastermind relationships. We've got to hold one another accountable to taking action, which is where all the results come from.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's give an example maybe of of a topic that we will talk about. And, I can think of so many that you've already taught me, but think of a business example that you might give. Talk about that example for a minute, and then I'll tie it to the platform. How about that?
Actually, I'm gonna use Jamon as an example, and I don't think he'll mind me calling him by name because he's going to be he's got a community inside of Convene, and he's going to be building it out soon. And he's a coaching client of mine. So Jamon has got a heart and a background and experience that lends itself to him teaching men how to be the parent and husband and really the man that they're called to be in life. Yeah. He is just brilliant at that, has a lot of experience and insight, and has studied it for a long time, and is a great teacher. So he and I have been working together for a while, and before he got involved with Convene, and his idea was to go on speaking engagements and sell his book. That was his business model, and we started thinking through that. It's like, that's going to really not be a scalable model because it always requires you showing up for anything to happen. Yeah. And how much money do you make selling a book too? I mean, like you'd have to sell a zillion books to really make that, make a dent in your lifestyle with that. So I suggested, hey, let's look at the business model, and like, what's really the goal in teaching people what you're speaking about, right? The goal is to help them change, inspire them, and give them a roadmap to change their life for the better. So the speaking engagement really is the lead-in for an ongoing program and engagement of accountability for them taking action and taking steps and becoming the man that that everyone in their world needs them to be. Yeah. So that ongoing program is really where the business model is built out of. The speaking engagement's a part of it. The books are certainly part of it, but the ongoing program is really the opportunity for recurring revenue. And this is all a byproduct of actually having legitimate long-term impact in people's lives, which is really the goal. So once and this is like a couple of weeks talking through this and thinking through it, then it became obvious, man, I have got somebody for you to meet because I've got the perfect place for you to host this whole program and all your content and engagement on, and it's called Convene Communities. And then I introduced him to Matt, and Matt took that business model thought process and talked to Jamon about what it would look like to actually execute a community or group with that, right?
Absolutely. So we take talking with Jamon, and here's the thing. Jamon has an amazing story about parenting that led him to teach parenting to men. And I'll tell just a little bit of the story real quick, but it was when he went to pick up his son, and his son was really young, but it really hit him right here in the heart, because when he went to pick up his son, who was at the neighbor's, his son said, I don't want to go with you. And then, which he thought, okay, that just happens. He wants to stay here and play. And then his son pointed at the neighbor and said, I want him to be my daddy. And that was like a dagger through Jamon's heart, and his son was so young. His son didn't know what he was saying, but that was all it took for Jamon to sit back and say, hey, I need to look at how I'm being a parent to my child. And maybe, he was working a lot, right? Doing what we all do. As men, sometimes we work, and women do that as well. But we work and work and work. But in this case, he teaches men. And so how to be a better father. So that's the story that led him to teach parenting. And that's what I really wanted to drive home, is that we all have a story. And I'll talk about a couple more people that are in Convene who have stories throughout this particular show. And so now Jamon, who has content, who does stand up instruction in front of men,
Mm-hmm.
Now he can take that content and that book and he can pull it back within Convene, and he can now have a community and a group inside that parenting community that focus on men and that evergreen content, meaning that content that he builds, it's now there.
Yeah.
But one of the things I want to bring up is that often, and one of the questions that I ask and with businesses, what's your leave behind? So for Jaman, the question to him was, Jaman, what is your leave behind? When you go out and you teach at a conference and you talk to these men, how do you keep them engaged? Because now we're going to talk about this in a business fact, right? In business, you want to continue to make money. He wants to continue to sell books. He's doing it because he loves it and he's passionate about it, but he also wants to make money, sell books, sell courses, fill seats at when he does live training. But I can go into a live training event, a summit. I can go into a stand-up speaking in a conference. And when I do that, people might think I'm the best speaker in the world. They might love what I just said to them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happens 3 weeks after I talk to them, Jason?
But then what? Yep.
But then what? They've forgotten who I was. And so the same with Jaman, it's like he can be up in front and he can teach a course on parenting. And when he walks away, they might think that's the best thing I've ever been a part of. I need to be a better father. I need to be a better parent to my son or my daughter, right? Yeah. Well, how do you keep it going? And that's where Convene Communities comes in, right? It connects the dots from what you're doing, what you're passionate about. It connects the dot, and Wendy Zanders teaching how to declutter your home or declutter your finances or declutter your email, and being an author, it connects Wendy Zanders to now having somewhere where she can communicate with her people, where she can collaborate with her people, and where she can educate her people.
That's right. And there's a lot of people out there that have a negative relationship with money. I just need to pay the bills and I just want to do as much good work as I can and reach as many people as I can. But the fact is, money's not evil, of course. What the good book says is the love of money is evil. And I say that because how much more impact can you have if you've got the resource of finances to work with?
Yeah.
And that's what I want for everyone that's on Convene and every business owner I work with is what's down in here. It's like, we need to take care of ourselves. We need to take care of our family. Maybe the next thought process is setting up a legacy wealth situation or a legacy handoff or benefit. But then what?
Yeah.
How awesome is it to grow a business to the point where you're thinking about a community level impact, whatever that community is? Is it a global community? Is it a regional? What is that impact? And that takes finances.
Yeah, it does.
It takes finances, and there's nothing wrong with building an amazing business out of helping people become successful in something in part of their life, right?
So let me explain this to you, because this. I'm glad you brought it up that way, right? Because everybody watching this and everybody that knows me knows that I'm extremely passionate about Convene Communities. And what I'm passionate about is I believe that Convene Communities can help others. I do a lot of stuff in the mental health as a counselor in the mental health world. I do a lot of podcasts on, that particular area. I never thought I'd be doing podcasts on suicide prevention or cyberbullying or, some of the things that I've been doing them on lately. So I know that it can make a difference. And I believe that we can make a difference all across the world through all the things that different people do. But one of my best friends in the world, Vince Martinez, I knew him in the Marine Corps as one of the pilots. He was on a podcast. We talked about scenario-based training a couple of months ago. He said to me a couple of years ago, he said, "Hey, Matt," he said, "I'm going to ask you this question, and either one of these answers are fine. It's okay." And he told me that before he asked me the question. He said, "You just have to decide." He said, is Convene a hobby or is it a business? He said, because if you just want it to be a hobby where you're making a difference in people's lives, that's okay. But if you want to be a business, then you have to become a business. And that's where people miss the mark.
Yeah.
A lot of times we go out there and we want to make a difference. We want to tell our story. We want to do all that. And we're doing it because we're passionate about it. But do you want it to be a hobby or do you want it to become a business? And that's where you come in.
Yeah. Think about, what a great example Richard Branson is.
Yeah.
How much impact on this world has he made and will he continue to make?
Sure.
It's huge. When have you ever seen a photo or video of him stressed out? And
Yeah.
I don't know how many businesses he owns, but it's 80 or 100 or whatever it is. Impact doesn't mean that you kill yourself at a young age to make as much impact as you can. It means working smart. It means creating something that doesn't rely on you to grow.
Yeah.
And your time and your energy for it to grow. And that's the difference between being self-employed in a business and actually becoming a business owner. Yeah. It's that bridging that gap, or that crossing that bridge is a better way to say it. Crossing that bridge to the point where the impact and growth of your business does not rely on you showing up every day.
Yeah.
And as soon as that's the case, then you've got something that's growing and making a significant impact every time.
Well, let me talk about one person that's watching right now.
Yeah.
That's Lisa Herring, right? And she teaches Social Security, disability benefits, right? And she does it mostly to veterans and first responders because she's passionate about that. She's a Marine Corps mom. Her son was in the Marine Corps. So she loves what she does. So Lisa's like me. She will give the world away to everyone, But what she's been able to do over the last year inside of Convene is she has now taken her courses where she was doing just one-on-one training. Mm-hmm. And from that one-on-one training, now she has a course where people can do it virtually because she took the time to create the content through a lot of video content plus write-up content. And she took that time to create that content. So now people can do one-on-one training with her. They can do just the online training course through Convene, or they can do a combination of both that's coming. That's incredible. That's the model, because now she's making money and she's selling courses every week based off of, and she'll be the guest, by the way, let me say this, Lisa Herring will be the guest next week on Convene Connections. So next week.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize that. Yeah, good.
Watch that. And then Wendy, I was going to say it, Wendy Sanders will be on March the 4th. So she'll be the guest on March the 4th. We'll be talking about the things that they're doing to be successful. But both of those ladies are being successful in Convene by doing what they love. Yeah. They are doing what they love, and they're doing what they're extremely passionate about. And so I just find that now it's bringing this mastermind together, and all of us can learn how to be a better business, all of us, and tie it all together.
And one way I describe it or explain it to help folks understand the difference too is, I can't teach a plumber how to be a better plumber. Like I've got no clue what to tell a person, but I can teach him or her how to build an amazing business out of doing that. Yeah. Providing that service and making that impact. And it's the same thing on Convene. Every person that's on Convene, you're the authority, Matt, on teaching us how to engage the platform to its utmost potential. I can't teach you how to do that any better. But while we're working together is because there's this whole skill set in business that's separate from that, and just as important, that building a business out of doing this Convene platform is where the real impact over time is going to come from. And every person who engages Convene, I see, we got who's all on? Wendy and Lisa. Who's watching live right now? Do you see some other familiar faces live?
Wendy, Lisa, Anthony McCauley, Melinda. Let's see. That's what I see right there. So
these are all folks that are on Convene right now. And, the world needs more of what they've got in here and in here.
Yeah.
And that's what Convene's about is a platform to be able to make that happen. And we've talked about it, but the whole point to the mastermind is to make that happen sooner than later.
So many people, Jason, they think that they don't have a topic. They think that they don't have a story. They think that they don't have something that they can go out and teach people. And then the next thing that comes into play is, well, who am I? Who am I to think that I'm an authority on their whatever topic it might be? And that stops people dead in their tracks.
So let me speak to that because I get passionate when I get wound up about that. Who are you to doubt what the Lord has in store for your life on this earth? That's what the question you need to be asking. Who are you to doubt the impact that you can have? The world, the community needs, your people need what you've got in your heart and in your mind and your experience in your past. That's valuable, and you got to share it. We all need you to share it, and it is valuable. And it's all self-limiting beliefs, right? They get in the way. Yeah,
it is. There's so many topics that we're going to be talking about during the mastermind, that get in people's way. I don't like the way that I look on camera. I don't like the way that I sound on.
Thank goodness I don't care about that, right?
So many people are so uptight. I mean, I was looking in the film, I'm like, well, my hair, I got a receding hairline going on here.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that really think about it, and they're like, oh, I can't do that because I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look. But like I tell them, when I look across the camera here, I see Jason. That's what I see. It's who I know, right? Yeah. And if you don't know me, who cares? Who cares, Yeah. I know what I'm passionate about. I know what I'm, I have a story about. I know what I can teach people. So I need to teach people, right? Yeah. That's what we've created this whole platform for, is to allow people, again, to tell their stories, to tell what they have and to see. And one more thing.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is that our stories are intersecting, right? Our stories are so intersecting, and I could go on and on about this all day, right? That the story we have is connected. And I'll give you an example. If I were to say this, because I do a lot of podcasting about this lately. If you have a family member who struggles with alcoholism or drug addiction, right? Or maybe it's you that have struggled with alcoholism or drug addiction, because I'm doing a lot of these podcasts, right, lately. If it's not you, then you know somebody that it has affected in a bad way. And so we all have that interconnection in that story. Most people can sit back and say, okay, I know somebody who has that problem, right? Or that's not something you go out and share. You don't share your dirty laundry and say, oh, I got, this. But you'll be surprised how many people are searching for that information, or searching to get that support. And that's what we try to bring in a lot of ways in different areas.
Yeah, two things I want to share real quick. Every week or two, I have one of the business owners that I work with ask the question, all right, coach, tell it to me straight. Am I the only person that's dealing with this?
Yeah.
I get that exact question, because it's just like, it seems like everybody else has this figured out but me. And I can reassure them because I get to see, behind the curtains in a lot of businesses, and they're like, nope, everybody's trying to figure that out, and we're all working on it, So being around an environment of people, a community of people that value where you're at, and they may have figured that part out, but you've got something of value you can offer them, and it's all yin and yang when it comes down to it. We don't connect by accident. We don't run into each other and connect by accident. It's providential. It's divine. My mom, who's probably watching, hey, Mama. My mom calls it divine appointments, right? And I can't remember what book that or author that's from, but it's divine appointments. So anyway, also wanted to mention, I was speaking with Lisa Herring earlier this week, and she mentioned, and you've heard this before, Matt, but one of the most compelling things or aspects of being involved with Convene is the fact that you're surrounded with a community of people that support your success. And where else on the earth do you find that? Everywhere else, if someone's interested in your success, it's because it gives them success. It's not just altruistic,
I got a great story on that happened this week. So I had a call, and I always say when somebody said they go somewhere else, so they go to a different platform, I always say, well, they're going to come home one day, right? They're going to come back. And so I had a talk with somebody this week who created a course somewhere else. And when you go create that course somewhere else, what I always say is you can do it out here on an island by yourself, or you can come into the community, right? The family of communities where we're going to support each other. We're going to help you grow. And so that person said, I quickly realized when I created the course over here that I was over here by myself. And I had nowhere around that platform that I created the course to create a group, to collaborate with that group, to grow that group. Nobody, if they bought the course, they didn't know anybody else was taking the course because it was just them. So that's it. That's what one of our unique selling propositions is that that we'll be learning about within Convene
USP.
Mastermind, USP. One of the things that makes us different is you can have that training course, but that's only half the equation. Your content, I would even venture to say that's not even half the equation. Your content is 40% of the equation. The other 60% is how you can collaborate and connect and bring people together inside of a group setting or a community setting.
Yeah.
That's the key. That's the key. And then how about this, Jason? How often when somebody asks you a question, let's go back to Jaman. Let's use Jaman as an example. How often does somebody talk to you about, okay, I would really like to go out and sell books, or I would like to do this? Do you have a platform that you can put them on for them to sell their content? Or did you say, I know a guy, I know a platform? And that's the point I'm making is we don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about Convene Communities is we can go and we can say, well, I don't do that, but Lisa Herring does, Wendy Zanders does, Anthony McCauley does, Eugene Brown does, I don't teach people how to be successful in the stock market. I know a guy though. So that's the key, is that we collaborate. That's where connect, collaborate, communicate, and educate come in. Collaboration side.
Yeah, it really dovetails into, what we do in Action Coach as coaches. And you've heard me say this before early on is, my goal as a coach, I don't have all the answers, but my goal is to surround you with the resources and the education so that all the answers are there for you, And so it's about environment. It's about environment. And the idea of Convene is that you can choose to participate in an environment that will provide every different angle to highlight the path to success, whatever, and impact, whatever that looks like. You know?
Yeah. So what we're here talking about real quick, again, if you join us later, we are starting the Convene Mastermind. It's going to be starting on March the 1st. It'll be at 7:00 Eastern. It'll be led by Jason Berry, the Convene business coach. I say that could be, he's our business coach. He's an action coach. So we're going to be tying a business concept to a resource, how you can use the platform. So we really love everybody to be a part of that. And again, that's what we're talking about tonight, just giving some examples and kind of building that story of what that's all about. I do want to read one little comment that we have right here. It says, hello, Jason. And your mama says, please don't miss God's appointment for you today. And I love it.
So I'm like, did I miss something? Like, what happened? That
was the comment right there. So that was from your mom. So that's a wonderful comment. So, hey, Miss Berry.
Hey, Miss Berry. Can I play with Matt tonight?
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. But so again, let's take that concept. Let's just talk about one concept, USP.
Yeah.
Right. That's one of the things that now, as a business coach, right, you and I are going through this with the marketing team, and we're talking about what is Convene's main USP, right? What makes us different? So talk about that concept, and then I'll tie it to the platform real quick. Let's just give an example of like a Monday night, what will be very short version.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know me well enough. You got to say that too. I'll keep going. So USP is a marketing term. It stands for unique selling proposition. Thank you, Dr. Guy at Appalachian State University. I remember that. So USP is unique selling proposition. Unique selling proposition is all about what makes us unique and interesting to our target market. And you can't start with the USP. You've got to start a couple of steps before that with your target market, because we don't know what the appropriate USP is until we have done our due diligence and actually defined in great detail exactly what our target market looks like and what target market should I choose.
Yeah. Hey, let me say that before you keep talking about it. Hey, if you're watching, put a comment in. What's your target market and what's your USP?
That's a good idea.
Or put that you don't know and you're ready to learn more. So if you're watching, please add a comment here.
That's right. And so you gotta start with your target market. Who's your target market? And if you don't have an idea where to start with your target market, if you're an existing business, think about this. You've got 100 customers. Out of 100 customers, what percentage of those customers would you consider A+ customers? Like, man, I love working with them. What percentage? And a lot of times the percentage I get back if I ask that question live is 10%, 20%. Some have even said 30%, which is pretty good. I'm like, okay, so what would your business look like if 80% of your business were A+ customers? And everybody, usually the reaction is, oh man, that would be awesome. Everybody sits back in their chair and their eyes get big. Like, that would be amazing. So the point is, let's go get more of that.
Mm-hmm.
You can design your marketing so that you attract specifically that out of the marketplace. So once we know what we're looking for, that's your target market, or one of two target markets. I wouldn't make it more than two, even one if you can. What's your target market? Now that we've defined our target market, we need to list some characteristics of exactly what those people look like. And I've got kind of like a workshop that I run through to help walk people through that. We spent a couple hours with the team about a month ago doing that with Convene. And once you've got a high level of clarity, 20 characteristics of what this perfect customer looks like, A+ customer, now we can think about what's unique about who we are, what we do, what we bring to the table, the way we approach our service or product. What's unique about the way we do business that would appeal and be interesting to that person?
Yeah.
And then that drives all of our marketing. But that work up front is usually what's missing, and why business owners consider marketing an expense and not an investment. Because until you've done the due diligence, it absolutely will be throwing money into the wind.
Yeah.
But when you do that now, we can really get very calculated. Marketing becomes scientific. Marketing becomes math at that point.
Yeah. And so now taking that concept and tying it into the platform, the goal will be that we take those two things, what's your target market, we take that USP, and we help you design your group, your premier group, where you can sell content, or your community where you're selling content and growing that to help you grow that base. And it's very important that you kind of understand what you're going for, who you're looking for, and who your audience is, so we can get very pinpointed in designing what you might be growing with inside of Convene, right? Mm-hmm. Because people are going to come in there looking for all different aspects, and you want to be the one you want to be, driven to. Eugene says, my USP is ideally people who are sincere and interested in becoming profitable. Hold on, I got to expand it. A profitable investor trader. Typically, this person has some experience, but a struggle with consistency and lacks the necessary skill to execute profitable trades. Lisa Herring says, Winnie Sanders says, special needs family are her target market. I have the most amazing clients. Moms are the ones that hire me to work with their family. So both of those examples right there, they've both come into Convene, and they've both created communities based off of what they are an expert in. Both of them have incredible stories that they've been able to capitalize on. And now, because they have a story, because they're being successful, they've now become that expert that people want to turn to.
That's right.
They're the expert. They're the expert, and we want to show them as the expert. So when you need somebody in that realm, you go to them. But their community has to highlight who their target audience is. It needs to highlight what their USP is. And then we build down from there, building their content. So now people go to them to learn. And inside of that, for example, I'll use Eugene Brown as an example. We're learning how to trade stocks, and invest with Eugene. And how is he doing that? One of the best ways that we're engaging in that is through the homework that he gives us and in the discussion board. And now we get the homework, we go through different stocks. After we do that, we have a call where we review it. He does videos reviewing some of it. And then later on in the week, he still continues to review what has happened with those stocks that we had on the homework. So now it's helping us. Oh, okay, I get it. I see what he's talking about. Because it's a dang process to learn what we're looking at, Yeah. So that's a great example of taking what somebody can do, taking that concept and tying it to the community.
And the mastermind group, that's when are we kicking it off? Monday next week?
Is it March the 1st? March the 1st, 2 weeks.
March the 1st, 2 weeks. Yeah. So that group is going to behave similarly to what you described to what Eugene's created in Stone Eye.
Yeah, 100%.
We're going to be, Matt and I are going to be monitoring the activity in the discussion board, the comments, the questions. And if there's a question that we know that would be an equitable question to address for the whole group's benefit, I'll hop on and make a little video and speak to that even between our Monday night sessions. It's an opportunity. It'll be an ongoing engagement. It won't be an enormous time commitment because time's scarce, but it's what? Having your focus gathered on something that's meaningful to you and held accountable on a weekly basis is powerful over time.
Yeah.
And that's what the mastermind is designed to do. That's why it will work very effectively.
Well, what you're going to be involved in is an example, a great example that if you figure out, now think about this, if you figure out your target audience and you figure out your USP, and then you understand and know how to design that content, you are going to be in a group. That's why it's so important. You're going to be in a group that will show you how to succeed inside of Convene, because this will be a group that is succeeding. And if you can mimic what we're doing, and it is going to cut your time frame down, back to your point at the beginning. Yeah, it'll cut your impact time down to become successful by just mimicking what we're doing.
That's right.
Exactly.
I'm just reading some of the comments. That's why I looked to the side. So Wendy, if you can throw in there, it looks like you're still on. You got the most amazing clients. Moms are the ones that hire me to work with their family. Are you speaking to the declutter with that comment? Or are you speaking to the special needs target? Moms are the ones. So let us know that.
So I wanted to point this out too before we go on. We have about 13 minutes left. If you have any questions you'd like to ask me, or you'd like to ask Jason about what's coming, what will be involved in the course, now's time. Ask it in the chat. We'll answer that here in the last 13 minutes. But I love what Wendy or Lisa Herring says. Veterans and first responders who can't work that need help on Social Security and disability benefits. Now, I want you to think about that. If I were to say to you, would you ever think that somebody would sell a course on Social Security and disability benefits and people would buy it and people would be really engaged?
It's not the first thing that would come to my mind,
Not top of the mind, right?
Yeah, right.
But there are so many people out there that need Lisa's services because they don't understand how to do it. It's not something that you would think of every day, right, Lisa? But she has so many people, so many clients coming out of the woodwork, to work with her, because think about now in this time of COVID, and think about all the stuff that's going on. There's a lot of people that need these Social Security and disability benefits. But man, I can tell you from being a medically retired Marine and being a service disabled veteran that is similar to what she teaches, it's a process to understand how all of this works.
And it's overwhelming, right?
Oh, it's overwhelming. And if you don't understand the process and you don't know how to put in for the benefits, you will get rejected. They will not do. So hiring somebody like Lisa is well worth your time and your money, because your chances of succeeding and getting those benefits go up exponentially by hiring her, because she's an expert in it.
And it takes so much less time. I mean, it's Lisa is amazing at what she does. And Wendy, thanks for putting that comment in there. So she's talking about special needs and decluttering. So it kind of, there's a cross section there that touches each other. But I just wanted to dig into that just a tiny bit when it comes to USP. So moms are the ones that are hiring Wendy's services, is what I read, I believe. And so when you're thinking about target market, so that's like, now we got a group of people, moms that want some help decluttering their family, their scene or their lifestyle or finances or whatever that looks like. So is that a mom with kids out of the house or kids in the house? If the kids are in the house, are they in elementary school, middle school, or high school? How many kids are in the house? Start digging. When you're thinking about target market, you got to keep digging in. Are these moms supporting, are the parents supporting a sports lifestyle and going to a ton of games? Is that like an element that's always involved with it? what are the common themes that are happening, because all those different aspects of what that A-plus customer's lifestyle looks like is what will help you understand where their attention lies through a day and through a week. And I said this the other day with you on the call, Matt. The most valuable commodity in the world's history is people's attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
Marketing is all about capturing people's attention and interest. That's where that's the whole goal of marketing. And then you've got to create a compelling reason for them to take action once you got their attention and they're interested, right? But you've got to figure out when and where you can get their attention first. And that's why you got to, like I challenged the team with Convene when we were looking at target market, what are 20 characteristics? And like, that's not as easy as it sounds. It's like easy to come up with 5 or 6 characteristics. But after we got our juices rolling the right way, or juices flowing the right way, we came up with 23. 23 characteristics of exactly who this person looks like in the target market. And now we have a lot of clarity on how to build out the marketing so that we can find and attract that person to Convene.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit more about the course, right? So this course will be every Monday night, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock is when this will go. The cost of this course is for the first bit, but we might increase it after we get going. So you need to get in on this to begin with, but the cost of the course is $97. Now, I want to know what you think about $97, because to me, that is a deal for the value that they're going to be getting to be a part of this course, to get your coaching and to get my coaching on how to succeed inside of a business application and learn.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. $97. We too cheap?
Well, I suggested, I think it was $500 or $600 to begin with, and that $500 or $600 each month. But you know what? I'm also a fan of creating an environment of accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
Because the quicker we can get people successful in Convene, I mean, it's going to benefit Convene.
Yeah.
It's going to benefit them. And like, what's my why about? My why is to help people get as far as quickly as they can. And the money is secondary to making that impact. That impact will create other opportunities that for everyone involved. So it'll be fine. Yep.
Yeah, so it's really good. What I'm getting at is for $97 a month, you're going to get extreme value, right? And I'll throw this out there to you. Obviously, Convene has a referral program, so you can look at this. It is out of that $97. It is 100% referral program. So anybody that you refer, you can make $40 out of that. So I use the term, me and Eugene Brown use the term, bring 3 and it's free. Because if you bring 3 people to the course, you're making money, right? You're getting your courses paid for, plus you're now in the green. So you're getting some profit there. So that's a big part of how we can grow this and how we can bring more people to the course. I think $97 for the collaboration that is going to go on with inside of this particular group is just amazing. And I agree with you, Jason. My thing about Convene is I would love to see, that's why the cost to create a premier group, $29.99, the cost for a private group, $9.99, the Convene CRM that's coming is it's going to be a good price. The Convene project management is going to be a good price, because I think the accessibility to people, to give people the opportunity to not outprice them, to allow them, like a lot of these platforms outprice people. They can't afford it, right? To not outprice people, to promote that ability to start a business and look at it. It's like a franchise, everything is built right in here for you. So we want to keep it affordable. And I think the way we're doing it is perfect. So.
Yeah, I agree. It's been built out really intelligently. I mean, I just am really excited
Do you
about.
believe that the way I talk and the way I sound, that I've been able to do this? I've been able to build something like this.
That, man, it's and it's tell everybody, because there's a lot of people that are discovering Convene for the first time, probably, that are watching too. How many years has this been in the making?
Yeah, so we've been at building Convene communities for 10 plus years, right? So it's been 10 years. I originally talked to somebody about the concept. The concept came from losing my friend Clark Beatty. And then in Marine Corps aviation, when we fly together, let's say we go do a flight. This is very common. We do a flight and we make some mistakes and maybe we almost crash. We get out of that because we're stupid, right? Let me just be honest. The joke is, when we get out of that helicopter, I say to you, hey, Jason, what happens in that helicopter stays in that helicopter. It's almost like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? Or what happens in the helicopter stays in the helicopter. And that's the wrong answer. That's exactly one of the things that led to the mishap of my friend, because one squadron had an issue and they didn't share it. And that was part of the causal factor of why they crashed, and 3 Marines lost their lives. So I said to somebody around 2008 timeframe, I want to build a site where people can come in and share their stories, right? Yeah. Because in the corporate world, how do you share your lessons learned? How do you capture your lessons learned? And then mostly, how do you share them? How do you learn from them? There's not a system out there for it. People use PDF and email, right? So I originally did all this business to business, mostly businesses, corporations, Pacific Gas and Electric, Boeing, hospitals use this as a training system. The more I would go out and speak at conferences, people would come up to me and they would say, hey, Matt, can I talk to you? I know we're talking about crew resource management and time critical decision making of how we handle ourselves in a crew, in a helicopter, in a trauma bay. But can I talk to you about my marriage? Can I talk to you about parenting? Can I talk to you about relationships? That's what people would come talk to me about. And so in the job as an air medical pilot, I watched 659 people's lives change on a dime, Jason. You know, they might be driving down the road and all of a sudden they get in a car accident and I'm landing in a helicopter on the highway picking up one of their family members. So their life changes like that.
Yeah.
So I went back and got my master's degree in counseling because I want to help people. And I thought, hey, let's take this site, and it's not just good for me and teaching businesses, but let's let everybody take it and do whatever they can do with it. Let's let everybody just tell their story and everybody create their training. And that's where it started from. But the most amazing thing is the team that I have. It would not be possible without the whole team that is part of Convene. You know, Melinda and Todd, they do so much work, and Eugene and Shayna and Braden and Jeff Bateson and Wendy Zanders and, you know, everybody, and you and everybody that's collaborating on this. It's incredible what we've done, and everybody's in it because we want to make a difference in people's lives and we see what it can do. And that's the story really behind what we've been doing and what we've been creating for the last 10 years. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's exciting, and that's why I wanted you to share that, is because people that aren't familiar with Convene, this is not a new idea that we're excited about.
No.
It's an old idea. It's an old idea that Matt and his team have been excited about for 10 years, and I just joined in the fun a year ago. You know, so it's like this thing just continues to have a strengthening heartbeat, and it is going to make the most significant impact. It's going to be awesome.
So let's close it out with this quick story for Ms. Berry.
That's funny.
And for everybody that's watching. So we did an event called Entrepreneurs Unite. And this was back last year when COVID first started, because we made the pivot to start doing some summits and take them into Convene. So Jason Berry goes and he ends up seeing an ad for call for speakers, and he contacts the person that's helping organize this thing for us. And she is in Michigan. Carrie's in Michigan.
Yeah.
And in the conversation, she says, hey, the owner, where are you from? First, she asked you where you're from. And you said, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And she said, oh my gosh, the owner of this is from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So you went all the way around the horn to Michigan, all the way back, and we live 5-6 miles apart from each other. So
yeah, I could not believe that. I was just like,
that's not God's intervention in this and bringing people together, then I don't know what is. I mean, you look, Stizo, who helps produce this, sitting in the background, like, why and how did I ever end up, getting to Stizo? But every Thursday night we're here, right? So I'm a true believer that we've been brought together and we can make a huge difference in different people's lives. And that's why we're all here doing the great things that we're doing. So we're up past 9 o'clock. Yeah, that went pretty fast to me.
That's right.
So March 1st, 7 o'clock. If you are not a part of it, you're missing out. If you have an idea, you have a concept, you're just thinking about, well, maybe I should start something, but you just don't know how, right? Or even if you think about doing a business, and you don't know how. I mean, we're doing some group training with a guy that is cabinets. He's in the cabinet business, right? The group training, Mike. Yeah. And when I brought up the DIY and community, it literally piqued his interest, right? Because as something that he could use as a marketing tool. So listen, we'd love to have you all. So I'm going to let you close us out with your comments, and then we'll take it out of here. Stizo, as always, thank you very much. We'll be back next Thursday night with Lisa Herring, but you get the closing words, Jason.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'd start at the beginning, but I think we need to go further back than that. Not just that's an Office reference for those of you that are Office fans, by the way. I tell you, if you're not familiar with Convene and want to become familiar with Convene, at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Mondays, we have a standing networking 45-minute time frame. You can jump in, just learn about Convene, hobnob with cool people like me and Matt and like our friends, and learn about what's happening on Convene. So I encourage you, if you just want to dip your toes in the water and see what the heck's going on with this thing, and get a little bit of input, and also network. I mean, the whole point of networking is we're actively seeking opportunities to network on your behalf, and who can we connect you with that'll make an impact for you and help you become more successful. That's what we're there to accomplish as well. So it's networking, it's learning about Convene, it's getting to know us. So it may not happen before we sign off here, but we will, Melinda, if you could please add the link so that people can register for that networking. We'll add that into the post, and that'll be in the post here shortly. So that's what I'll sign off with. Thanks for your time, Matt, and having me on.
Appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Stizo.